Story 1. Remember random stories I tell and notice things about me, like what I like or don't like, without me directly telling you the information. On my first date with the man who became my husband, I shared some random stories from my childhood. On our second date, he mentioned one of them and asked a follow-up question. I was blown away. He listened and thought about it. It made me feel valued and heard. Women love when you pay attention to who they are as a person. Story 2-1. Gentle. Admittedly, men are quite strong and can sometimes come off as a bull in a china shop. When a man is considerate and gentle, it genuinely makes my heart melt. Like men being very careful with delicate beings and objects like babies and kittens, gentle affection from a man is truly wonderful. Combing your hair, caressing the face, massages, helping you button something, hugs. Love it. Hobby. When a man has hobbies he takes pride in, especially somewhat niche ones, I find him very attractive. When they explain their hobby or show me their crafts, oh my goodness. I get to see how passionate they are about it. It gives me butterflies. Seeing a guy so excited is so precious. Story 3. Awareness combined with handling things without being asked. A guy that can see what needs to be done and just does it without complaining makes me want to give him all the things. Story 4. People like to talk about how women love bad boys, etc. But honestly, there's nothing sexier than a guy who is a genuinely good person. Not someone who is trying to appear like a nice guy or someone who is worried about being perceived as good, but someone who genuinely cares deeply about doing the right thing. Story 5. A good friend sneaked out of his job at 5 a.m. to change my tire on the side of the road, but he had just looked up a quick tutorial for the first time and finished the job in 10 minutes. He was dressed formally, and when he rolled up his sleeves to get to work, I just thought, God. Story 6. My boyfriend literally was cleaning up the yard and brought me some of the wildflowers from around the yard. It was just a sweet, simple gesture. It was thoughtful. Story 7. 1. By intelligence, of course, I mean quantifiably and demonstrably so. None of the red pill, low-quality discourse nonsense. Being articulate in thought and expression is a rarity these days, which is to be expected given the visual media slop being force-fed to us in the name of short-form content. So yeah, and not just in men but people generally. I love laughing and rarely, if ever, do I take myself so seriously. I love to laugh. I will find the humor in any and every single thing. It is what it is. People who can find the humor in life's many absurdities have my heart. I am in awe of people who are capable of whipping up greatness in the kitchen. They're nothing short of alchemists, I tell you. Being responsible. Story 8. My ex-boyfriend and childhood sweetheart snuck out of his house and walked 3 miles to the local science museum. He bought a ticket with half of his third-grade life savings and attempted to purchase the pink Prince Rupert glass droplet earrings with the other half of his savings. He found out they had run out of the pink ones and demanded they restock them as soon as possible because my birthday was in a month. His parents were called to pick him up after he received a glassworking lesson and made a custom Barbie pink set for me instead of the normal hot pink. This stunt was entirely because my mom insisted I get the orange earrings to match my complexion, but he knew that I needed the pink for my personality at the end of a nerdy kid science playdate. Mind you, this was a 10-year-old boy who was disgusted by romance at this point. He did this all in the name of the autistic rules of friendship. He broke up with me in high school after his dad took away his autism and post-traumatic stress disorder medication, in which he decided to self-medicate with meth as a last resort and not involve me. When he had $10 to his name, he figured out how to give me $20. Dude, if you see this, I still wear those earrings. I hope, wherever you are, that you are loved. Story 9. Being gentle. Truly wants me to be fine and not hurt my feelings. Helping others. Standing up for those less privileged, speaking up, being a true ally. Story 10. I forgot to add when he shows me his incredible mind, big heart, and works hard for us. When he makes me laugh and talks about his life, his dreams, and wants, I love it. Story 11. This will probably sound a bit weird, if not immature, but I love just listening to him talk. He talks about so much stuff. The majority of what he talks about is interesting to me, And it involves everything from music to drugs to religion to other ancient cultures who inadvertently contributed to the Bible as we know it today. And I'm not a religious person. But our nights together generally consist of sitting on the patio talking for hours while smoking weed, followed by lying in bed watching music videos and playing around with each other's bodies. It all leads to mind-blowing sex. And the reminder that it's even better in your 40s than it was in your 20s. Story 12. Said this many times before. Cooking real food. I don't care about instant ramen or a boiled egg. But if I see a guy cooking a proper dish and knows what he's doing, it's very hot. Story 13. Hugging from behind. Talking in their morning voices. Making the effort to not only make a reservation for a restaurant or cook, but also buy flowers or light candles and have rose petals around. Story 14. When a man gently puts his hand on the small of my back to help guide or protect me in a crowd. My friends hate it, but I enjoy the closeness. Forehead kisses. Story 15. Loving his kids and pets dearly. Emotional intelligence. Talking about our future together and looking forward to it once we are committed to each other. Not in the beginning. Wanting to cuddle without the expectation of sex. Speaking out about social injustices. A straight man that defends another man who is being picked on, like gay men or transgender people, is just wow. What a man. Story 16. Being thoughtful and caring, like putting their hands on corners when we pass by to make sure we don't get hurt. Noticing things, making sure we are and feel safe all the time. Not just texting, but also like offering to order a taxi or give us a ride. Story 17. Doing things without having to be asked. Simple tasks like household chores. No one wants to be with an adult child. Mother isn't here to pick up your mess. And I shouldn't have to ask you. Sweeping once in a while, helping clean the dishes, cooking. Stuff like that really makes a huge difference and mentally lifts a load off. Story 18. When they are driving and they put their hand on the back of the passenger seat to turn around in reverse. Bonus points if the backwards hat is on too. I do not know what it is, but it is so hot. Story 19. Silly, but I find it super sexy when they roll up the sleeves of their shirt. Cooking is very sexy too. Kindness, like seeing a mom struggling with a stroller on the stairs and stepping in to help, is incredibly attractive as well. Story 20. Being emotionally intelligent. Cooking, reading, even with glasses, is still a turn-on. Playing video games like a pro. Any act of service or care, honestly, is a turn-on. Story 21. Staying up all night helping to find our cat that had been missing for a few days when it's only 28 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Working on the cars and getting all dirty, watching him work on the helicopters at his work, and cooking dinner with music blasting and with excitement about what he's cooking. Story 22. Don't talk about sex. To be honest, I think it is a big turn-on when he is just able to wait until I am ready to get intimate without talking about it beforehand all the time. Story 23. Every turn-on is a function of whether you are the girl's type. If she likes you, then she could find you picking up the newspaper attractive. If you're not appealing to her, then nothing. Story 24. I have an ex who could call any customer service line, usually about extra fees or messed up charges, and calmly tell them exactly what he wanted done, and usually got additional services or perks too. It was impressive. Got an apartment to completely resurface the bathtub or shower in one of our bathrooms because it was slightly discolored when we moved in. Cable installation fees waived and a free month when they still charged it, etc. Story 25. Before we started our relationship, I had done a few small repair jobs for my now girlfriend in her house, such as fitting new lights. One of the lights needed assembly, including hanging a lot of crystal baubles by small chains. I offered to do it and sat down for half an hour concentrating on this fiddly job. She said this was what convinced her that we could have a relationship. Story 26. Get me food after a long day without me asking for it or drive to wherever I am simply because he wants to see me or misses me. Another thing I love is the fact that my boyfriend will send me pictures of random things he does or saw throughout the day. Like how heartwarming that you thought of me throughout the day. Come here. Story 27. This might be a niche, only me thing, but I've always found it so attractive when my partner is reversing the car and puts his hand on the headrest of the passenger seat and looks back over his arm. I have no idea why it has this effect on me, but whenever he is reversing, I get a little shiver. Story 28. I like watching my man put together Legos. The flexing veins in his hands when he puts pieces together. His focused, angry face when he can't find a piece. And then how excited he is when he's finished and his smile is soul-ripping. Story 29. Being genuinely interested in your interests and having different and interesting topics to discuss, explore, or talk about. Mutual interest and mutual understanding is one of the sexiest things ever. Story 30. His serious face when he works. How competent he is at what he does. His confidence when he speaks and when he walks. Drives with one hand while the other is on my thigh. His helping hand when I'm already panicking and stressed out. That I know I can rely on him completely. When he takes me out on dates, arranges everything, and all I need to do is show up. The way he leads the relationship. Story 31. My wife would say when I back up my truck and put my arm behind her seat to turn around to look where I am backing, I steer the wheel with one hand. Story 32. When he is passionate about something, anything, confident in himself, showing he is thinking of you in small, thoughtful ways, any effort whatsoever. Knows how to have fun and make me laugh, also any manual labor. Story 33. Guy here, but I've met 2 women this year who thought my mental math skills were impressive. Like actually used the word sexy. When I could do anything more than 2 digits multiplied by 2 digits. Story 34. Being nice to babies, animals, and waitstaff. Being hilarious without putting others down. Being really skilled at something artistic such as dancing or singing. Remembering small details about you and using that to surprise you or get you good gifts. Story 35. Be vulnerable, cook, talk excitedly about a hobby they have. Watch them be a fully functioning adult human in their home. Put in effort. Lay on the couch and put their arms behind their head so the bottom of their shirt rides up an inch or 2 and I can see their belly. Story 36. 1. Remember little details. I told my boyfriend on our first date that I carry tiny bags while going out with people, and it's so sad that I can't fit a water bottle in them. That man has brought a water bottle with him on every single date in the last 3 years. When he talks about nerdy stuff and explains it in great detail. He is a physics professor, so I get lots of thermodynamics lessons on video calls. Wear complementary colors on dates. Waist grab while walking. A contact. There are many more. I can think of only these right now. Story 37. Touch me every time we pass by each other. Even if it's just a little brief touch on the arm. My husband does this, and when he rarely doesn't, I realize how much I was expecting it and love it. It's so sweet. Story 38. 1. Smile and laugh. Life is sweetest when enjoyed together. Listen to understand, not to respond. I know this is a hard one. It's difficult for me too. But when he truly understands, I know he cares. Challenge me mentally. Teach me something, expand my thinking, and let's mentally spar. Intelligence is sexy. Story 39. Taking care of things in the house that I don't like, such as vacuuming, taking the trash out and cleaning the kitchen, or letting me sleep in when the kids are up early is very attractive. I'm not sure why exactly, but being tired and having a lot to do is a big turnoff. Story 40. I love when guys just quietly take care of things. If we are all hanging out and drinking and one of the guys is checking on everyone, making sure they are fine. Oh yeah. Story 41. Working on a car, riding a motorcycle of any kind, woodworking and carpentry, cooking, creativity, kindness to animals, children, elderly, and others in general. Being a good listener and friend. Story 42. 1. Men who are confident in themselves and don't need to seek validation from others. Men who are genuine and not pretending to be nice because they hope to get with you someday. Men who actually want to be on my side and teach me things so I can be successful without them. Men who don't turn into a bro when with the boys, such as not joining in group talk that sexualizes women. Men who are actually mature and emotionally mature. Men who don't sexualize little girls and shut down creepy talk. The list could go on. I work with all men because I do mechanic work, and you wouldn't believe the gross and sad things they say about their own women, other women, and sadly little girls. Story 43. One of my male friends can play guitar, paints, and is an excellent cook. My girlfriend says she would have targeted him if she had not met me. For the record, this friend is absolutely straight. Story 44. I love when my man is out of the shower and getting ready for work in the morning, especially when he is shaving or trimming his beard. Bonus if he uses his beard softener I got him because I know I'm in for some serious goodbye kisses after our coffee. Story 45. Making me laugh, holding my hand, getting me something I didn't ask for, cuddling. To be honest, they aren't necessarily a turn-on for me but make me feel happier and safer to be with them, which can easily lead to being turned on more often. Story 46. Waist grab or caress. Hand on thigh if we are close that way and seated next to each other. Reducing the mental load doing housework, not needing to be managed. Told what to grocery shop for, to help with laundry, to clean the house. Story 47. Wash my hair. Stretch. Fix something. Be playful. Be protective, even small things like smashing a bug for me or blowing off hot food before feeding me a bite. Story 48. Good humor, respectful nature, intellect, street smart, not a fragile ego, knows how to express himself. This one may be a bit personal, but if he can do mathematics, math and science smart guys turn me on for no reason whatsoever. Then similar music taste, replies back quickly and actually listens. Knows how to cook and doesn't think it's a woman's job, not a man-child or mama's boy. Good taste in clothes and shoes.